All right. So I've seen people asking about running fans on POEs, and so I decided to make this video up for one of the guys in the group here that was asking about it because, hey, it's a great point. So these little fans here, these aren't the actual fans, obviously, that you're going to be using in your enclosures, but if you look at the power consumption here, focus, please. 0.20 amps, so it's 200 milliamps at 12 volts, right? I actually put these in parallel, or sorry, series for the point of the video. That way they will actually run as a single 24 volt entity because I don't have any 24 volt brushless fans around. So basically, if you keep it under an amp, preferably under 0.7 amps, 750 milliamps, you should be able to run 24 volt fans off your PSUs without any problems. And I'll give you an example. So, yes, technically you could just take your cable and you could cut the end off. And typically your blue is your positive and your brown is your negative. You can just bind those together and do that. But this is a better way, a safer way, is that you can use these MikroTik PoE adapters. And I'm sure you guys have thousands of these things kicking around. If not, they're like $8, okay? So this guy taps the power while allowing the data to pass through. So you could simply take something like this guy here, plug it into your passive 24 volt PoE. Look, you're now harvesting power from your PoE pack, which I've got another video coming up that you guys are going to love because it discusses how to get more power to your PowerBox Pros. Now watch this. I'll just, I don't want this thing. Yeah, I didn't really think about this part. Hold on. Let's change it up a little bit. No, here we go. I'll just hold it in one hand. Watch. There we go. See? So these guys are running quite happily on this little 24 volt PoE pack. And this one is actually capable of, let's see what it says on here. 24 volts at 300 milliamps. Okay? Yeah, so technically, these guys are well within spec for this guy. But the same thing with other switches. I was going to hook it up to this switch too, but I think you guys get the point. You could literally plug this into any passive PoE switch where you can turn the ports on and off, which will allow you to remote control the fans. The only catch is the only way that you can monitor the temperature inside of your enclosure is by looking at the system health of your router board or looking at your Netonics to see what the temperature is internally. And if you see the temperature getting really high, then you know your enclosure is getting warm. I prefer a passive enclosure design where you've got louvers on the lower part and louvers on the top part to allow free airflow. But yeah, we'll get into enclosure designs later because like Tycon already makes some awesome enclosures and so does Alpha as well. But this is just to show you guys that yes, you can literally run a small fan off a PoE. So if you get enclosure fans like the 4 or 5 inch fans, they're still under an amp. You get a 24 volt fan, you can put a barrel connector onto it like so and plug it in. It's that easy. You can plug it into any, actually I think that let's see here, yeah, PoE is enabled on the switch actually. I don't know if you guys can see that switch. Let's just slide over for a second. So this is my bench edge switch right here, which I just use for whatever. We're going to take this guy here and unplug it and throw it aside. And I should be able to plug this guy in like so. See, same thing. So now, it's just that simple. And if you do it with one of these little injectors, you're actually playing it safe because this actually taps the pins properly. So rather than risking shorting pins or causing a problem with a switch that isn't really capable of doing this, this will ensure your safety with your devices. See? Lights off, plug her in, lights on. And let me just lie this flat. Oh, actually, I could do it this way. There we go. See? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's just watch your current, folks. That's really all there is to it. And you can use passive PoE switches to run these things. Heck, if you've got a 48 volt fan that's less than an amp, you could run that off of a port on a Netonics as well. Same kind of thing. Just keep it under an amp. Like, try to keep it under 700 milliamps if you can, so that you don't overwhelm your equipment. But yeah, short video today. I made this specifically for one person who was asking this question, and I really hope that answered it for you. Okay, so Giver, and your enclosures are looking great. Catch you later, folks.